Welcome to Vector's PREEvision version 9 tutorial series. In this installment, we will go through some steps that should be taken before starting PREEvision for the first time, and also anytime you start a new project. So the steps that we're going to cover in this video: before starting PREEvision, modification of the PREEvision INI file. And this is only something that has to happen once PREEvision is installed. But then after starting PREEvision, we'll create a new project, and then every new project that you create, there are two steps that have to be taken before any productive use: a factory reset and synchronization of rules. So modification of the PREEvision INI file is something that will only have to take place once for the install of the client, and there are three lines that are critical to the performance of PREEvision. The three lines that are highlighted in the screen here that you see are the stack size, minimum memory, and maximum memory. So the stack size, the out-of-the-box setting is 512K, but that should be more like a minimum of 2048K, and the minimum memory should be set the same to 2048K. Maximum memory, that's going to depend on what you have in your system, but it should typically be anywhere between 50 to 75% of the system memory that you have. The 3 gig that is delivered in the out-of-the-box INI file is very conservative, but it also will not give you the best performance. So once that is complete, and by the way, it is very probable that you'll have to either start in an administrator mode or use something that'll allow you to go into administrator mode once you're editing the file. So for instance, Notepad++ is capable of doing that. It will also depend on what your IT department allows in terms of the modification of this INI file. If there are some restrictions at your location for that, you'll have to work with your IT folks to be able to do that, but this is important to get the best performance out of your system. And so now, before working in a new project, there are some things that we have to do. What we have to do are something called a factory reset and modification, or synchronization rather, of the rule models. And the reason for these steps are that PREEvision provides a set of ready-to-use tools that include things like perspectives and table editors and consistency rules and metrics and things. And all of these things, because they can change, and also because it's possible that individual customers would prefer to have specific versions of these things for themselves. This step is performed through something called a factory reset. It's not something that has to happen every time you start the program. It only happens when you first start a new project. And I'll show you how to do that in the tool in a minute. But if you don't do this, you'll find that a lot of things that perhaps are shown in the manual, or things that you should be able to do, they're just not showing up. And that's because those things are actually integrated into the tool as a result of performing this factory reset and synchronization of the rules. Okay, so now we're in PREEvision, and what we'll start with is creating a new project, and then we'll run through the whole process of doing the factory reset and also synchronizing the rules. Okay, so I'm just going to create a new project underneath this demo folder that I have here. And you can see that I have other things that I've done as little demonstrations, but we're going to create a new one. So I just right-click, get the context menu, create new project. And I'm going to create a file-based project because I'm not connected to a collaboration platform now. And I'll give the project a name, and I'll just call it Factory Reset. And that's all there is to that. So now I'll have a new project. And a new product line. And it's all empty, but it's a brand new project. So now we can begin our steps to do the factory reset. Under the administration menu item here, there is a annotate artifacts for factory reset choice. So this is what you have to do before actually performing the factory reset. So you just select that, and there are two different choices here: PREEvision product delivery, which is the default, or a customer file. As I mentioned before, it's possible for customers to have specific versions of this factory reset that might apply specific consistency rules that they have, or other things that are company specific. But at a minimum, doing the default from the product delivery is something that you should do. So we'll hit OK for that. And what this is doing is annotating those artifacts that are going to get factory reset modification. Okay, so now that's complete. Now the perform factory reset option is available. Prior to the annotation, we couldn't even perform the factory reset. So just select that. And again, I'm going to choose the default product delivery. And I just hit next there. And when this is complete, it'll give you the choice of where you want to apply that. So here I select the entire model and then click Finish. Okay, so now that the factory reset is complete, the next thing that has to happen is the synchronization of the rules. Now, the rule model is contained under the administration package, and it's possible that in your install that the administration has not been shown. So if for some reason you don't see administration in your model tree, you can turn on the display of the administration by this little down arrow here on the button bar in the model tree area, and just choose Show Administration, and then you'll be able to see it. So the rule model is under Rules, and before we do anything with attempting to synchronize these rules, since modifications are going to have to be made in this area, we need to unlock this area, because the rule model is typically made read-only so that people don't accidentally make changes. You have to specifically, under the property view for the rule model, unlock it. So this lock object button on the property view, if you hit the down arrow, you can say unlocked object and all contained children. And that should unlock the whole rule model. I sometimes unlock these individually as I go, just to be extra certain, because it's kind of aggravating if you try to do the synchronization of the rule model and you've forgotten to do this. So I just make extra sure and unlock them all individually. So each one of these sets of rules have to be synchronized. So that's done just through a simple right click, and the context menu comes up, and there's a choice to synchronize consistency rules. And that's all you do is you select that, and it will perform that synchronization. Same steps for model query synchronization. Just right click and it will bring up the context menu. Synchronize model queries. And the same process again for synchronization of the propagation rules. Just synchronize propagation rules, and that will be the last step before your new project will be ready for productive use. Thanks for watching, and be sure to visit our website for news, products, demo software, support, information about workshops, or to answer any questions. Thanks again.